Biden will surrender your jobs to China. He will surrender your future to the virus, and he will surrender your country to the radical socialist left. And you see that happening. The only thing Biden wants to do is get as much as he can for himself. Have you been watching this whole thing play out? I didn't know anything about it. Oh, here's a picture of Biden playing golf with these people. I didn't know my son was taking money from Burisma. I didn't know my son got $3.5 billion from the mayor of Moscow's wife. I wonder why. And then you see all the things, right? That we have to give the man 10%. We have to give the man 10%, right? Ah, boy. I'll tell you what. Nobody's ever seen. And the media, right, and big tech, they won't allow it. Charlie Kirk, you know Charlie Kirk, great guy? They shut down his site because he mentioned it. Look, he's a corrupt politician, this guy. He's a corrupt politician. To get the power, Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control of his party over to the socialists, the communists, the Marxists, and the left-wing extremists. And that's before we get to his own personal corruption, which is more than anybody in history. I say this, it's the second biggest scandal politically in the history of our country. Number one.
How is it going, you guys? Today we are here coming at you from all different parts of the United States, and we're coming at you from Ireland. We've got a special guest that's very popular these days on TikTok. And so let me introduce everybody really quick. We got Ryan Shead, Mr. Jahko, Be Less Stupid. John is with us from Be Less Stupid, and Mermaidmama Maggie. And then we got Ben, that's a local in Portland, Oregon. So he's going to give us the lowdown on what's happening in Oregon with the protests and everything. Some real news and facts. Hopefully we can get from him, from people on the ground. And then we got BrainDaddy, and then Paddy the Panda. It's great to have you guys here. And I'm going to start off with myself. I come from California. I've been traveling the world the past 9 years, and I just started a YouTube channel about 2 years ago. And I show crazy foods, and I try to show everyone a good time with my videos on YouTube. And so that's my thing. My channel is called Food X Bert, and we're going to go on to Ryan Shead.
Hey guys, yep, Ryan Shead here. I'm mainly into the politics side of things. I have my own YouTube channel, which I just started, so if you could go subscribe to that, I'd much appreciate it. I'm also big on Twitter and getting there on TikTok, so go follow me. Everything's under my name, Ryan Shead. Pretty simple. And as always, much love and keep fighting.
Great. And then we got Mr. Jahko.
Hi, my real name is Jahkori, but I go by Mr. Jahko because I'm a teacher. I educate on TikTok. I also spread news about politics and obviously who's most best for this country. And I teach on the reasons why. So that's I'm awesome. Most famous on TikTok, so you can follow me there.
Cool. And then we've got John from Be Less Stupid, a great YouTube channel. Here he is.
So who I am today doesn't matter, of course, Bert. I tell you that every time. What is important is that the young people, hopefully you people who are between the ages of 18 and 34, who I think are the primary audience for TikTok videos, and I would like to encourage you, I'm pleading with you, make sure that you are prepared. You can be voting, in fact, right now, right? We have 14 more days in which to vote to get rid of Trump, right? And it's imperative that if you live in a state where you have a right where you have to mail in your ballot, you got to make sure that you do it properly. Follow the instructions. Otherwise, your vote is not going to be counted, right? And if you are going to show up to the polls on Election Day, November 3rd, why don't you look to see if you have a neighbor or someone who's elderly or who needs help getting to the polling places? Please. Then we get 2 votes, right? We're guaranteed 2. And especially if you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania, it's imperative that you sign up and that you get to the voting booths to vote Trump out. He's an existential threat. And if you think the world is terrible now, it's going to be infinitely worse in Trump's second term.
I agree with that 100%, John. Thank you so much. And then we got Mermaidmama Maggie.
Hey guys, so I guess I'm representing the female and mother demographic of this live right now. But my page is comedy. It's silliness and politics. I just like making fun of Trump and being silly. And if you like it, come on down. I'm probably the least famous of anybody here. So
I don't know about that.
Okay, we've got Ben coming from Portland, Oregon. Tell us about yourself, Ben. And yeah, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, I live in Portland, Oregon. I moved here about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little more than that. But yeah, I'm just tired of seeing American citizens across the country, but specifically here in Portland, be brutalized and arrested and dehumanized by the police. So I guess that's probably what I'll be talking about a little bit today. Yeah, and I feel like I'm significantly less famous than Miss Mermaid. So
I told Ben to start a TikTok a while ago, but I guess you have not, right? But he should. He definitely has something to say and some amazing, like the protests definitely have a lot of content to cover. So, okay, so we got Mike, BrainDaddy is here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, after that intro, I need to know if anyone has a morphine drip, because Jesus, I cannot listen to that man. But much like Mermaid over there, I try to dabble in comedy with politics to make light of this freaking horrible, whatever the hell you want to call this we have going on right now. And to piggyback again, like I always do off John, when it comes to your ballot, if you're sending in your ballot or you're putting it in a ballot box, make sure your signature matches what's on your driver's license, because I have had my vote not count. Hey, Northern Monkey. I've had my ballot not count because it was too late and the signature didn't match because for some reason I changed my signature at some point. So if it doesn't match perfectly, they will not take it.
Cool. Thank you so much for reminding us about that. And then we got Paddy the Panda, which is really an honor to have someone from Ireland.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I suppose I kind of provide a bit of an international flavor and let you guys kind of know what the rest of the world is thinking at any given time. But I talk a lot about politics. I'm probably on Donald Trump's kind of spectrum. I'm the biggest communist in the world, being from Ireland, which is madness in and of itself. But I add a bit of comedy to my stuff and I do some Trump parody stuff as well. So I'm happy to be here. And again, I feel like I have imposter syndrome being in the room with the guys here. So thanks very much for having me.
No, it's great to have you. You made a great video about Trump, just about Biden and Trump, about the computer that got sent out to the box. I don't actually understand the computer guy, the guy that's fixing computers that got dropped off that computer. He's blind? Well, that's
legally
that makes no
blind.
sense.
Yeah, legally blind.
Wow.
Legally blind.
He knows
Yeah.
about what's on a computer because
How does that
he's legally
work?
blind.
Yeah, no, that's so bizarre. It's
Well, you saw even the Post walk that back today, right? Even the Post came out and was like, okay, even that went against our journalistic integrity. So yeah, we're going to walk that back. So if the Post is walking that back, let's all just stop talking about it and move on.
Yeah, they're kind
the
of
whole laptop thing.
Yeah, the whole thing, like they're just like the whole story is so flimsy that they ended up putting out an article today walking it back.
I've gotten so many comments just today, like, "Oh, just wait for tomorrow. Just wait for 2 days from now. He's gonna back out of the whole race now because of this." I'm like, no.
I saw people talking on Twitter that the Wall Street Journal is working on a big story that's supposed to be their big October surprise.
Yeah.
It's owned by
What are they
it's
waiting
the same
for?
company, right? We know that the story was so flimsy that Fox News, even those guys who are peddling nonsense, quite frankly, 24 hours a day, even they went, "Oh, this one's too much for us."
This
right?
one's too
they let
stupid
the
for
guys-
us.
Oh my God.
So they let the guys at the Post do it, and now allegedly the Wall Street Journal is working on another big expose, which I'm sure will go nowhere.
Yep.
Rudy Giuliani on his YouTube channel, which has got around 200,000 subscribers. He did a whole video about it, like about the whole story. I don't believe any words that he says. He's lost a lot of credit since he's kind of fallen in love with Trump on his whole affair. I don't
You
know.
sit
But...
through 2 hours of Rudy Giuliani? Oh my God, no.
No, I did not. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and it was too much for me.
Yeah.
Your
About to
IQ has
say,
now gone down by 4 points.
His IQ?
Yeah, I'm saying, Bert, your IQ, having watched Rudy for 5 minutes, your
What
IQ
happened to that
is
guy?
now down by 4 points.
I
think so.
Remember when he
so.
was like a hero to all of us in 2001?
I mean,
kind of. And then now
I
he's
joined the
like,
military right around that time. He was one of the people I looked up to. You know.
And now he's like Gollum. Like he's just a crazy.
How things change.
I have to assume that Trump is blackmailing him, right? That's the only right. It's the same thing that Trump is probably blackmailing Lindsey Graham about his. Look, we know that being gay, there's nothing wrong with that, but apparently Lindsey Graham thinks there is, right? And I have to assume that Trump was blackmailing him, and so I don't see there being any reason to think that there isn't some nonsense in Giuliani's past that Trump has some dirt on, and says, "Oh, all right, I won't reveal that nonsense about you if you do my bidding."
Yeah, if you peddle my crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this thing about like Biden raising taxes $2,000 for the like average American citizen is complete. Just it's not true. He's only going to raise the taxes for the elite, the rich, the people that are millionaires, make like above $150,000 or $200,000 per year.
Oh no,
400.
Yeah.
440.
Oh.
Yeah. People who make more than 400,000 a year will pay slightly more in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's such a small percentage of the voting population that it's funny that we spend so much time talking about it. Honestly,
Can I just say, I find it bizarre here in Ireland, hearing people who live in trailers who can't afford to eat that week, literally defending people who earn more than 400k a year and saying it's not fair that they have to pay a little bit more. It's absolutely bizarre to me to even hear that. It's absolutely bizarre.
It's bizarre to us too, believe me.
Yeah.
Not all of us, but everybody here.
No, but I understand. I genuinely understand why lower class, let's say white America, doesn't want there to be taxes, because Trump and the Republicans now for years have convinced lower socioeconomic Americans, particularly white Americans, that they are only in their station temporarily and that they are not going to be poor forever. And so they think that when they then get rich, right, they will not want to pay extra taxes. And so by convincing them that their station in life is only temporary, he gets them to vote against their own self-interest. He gets them in a pandemic to be against getting health care for free, against getting free health care, right?
Absolutely.
They would rather get sick and die than get health care from a black guy, right? Yeah. That is...
And
makes no sense.
And to add to that, can we, because the talking point from the Republican side seems to be, well, why are we going to vote for this guy if he's going to raise our taxes? I want to point out that Trump is raising taxes. He did and is raising taxes for the middle class. He's telling you that he's not going to, but then he's turning around and doing it anyway. The difference being that the Democratic Party is looking at you and saying, you know what, we're going to raise your taxes a little bit across the board, especially for the rich people. But guess what? We're also going to give you free health care and a bunch of other cool shit. So, this argument just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
they're still stuck in like the mentality that there is an American dream still, right?
Yeah.
And that's where he gets his slogan, "Make America Great Again." And it's tricking his base into thinking that, they're going to go back to 1950s where everyone's got a picket fence and a dog and 2.5 kids or whatever. And it's just not the case anymore.
Right.
I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for a while that the American dream is really just a pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Absolutely.
And it's just 90% of Americans haven't realized it yet, but the rest of the world have. Just to let you know.
The rich richer.
Patty, do you have that issue going on in Ireland? Is there like a class of people who've been tricked by some other class of people to vote against their own interests?
No.
Is that something common across the globe, or is that a uniquely American thing?
No, well, see, Ireland is a very different system. So we're a very centrist country, regardless, or as Trump would call us, communist. But typically we vote very centrist. Depending on the economy, we vote either center left or center right. But we're just going into lockdown tomorrow, on a full lockdown for the next 6 weeks. and our taxes are paying for our survival for the next 6 weeks. So,
imagine that.
no matter how much you earn, we're going to give you, the state gives you $1,850 per week, every week, to make sure that you can feed your family. Why? Because you've been paying taxes into the system all your working life, and this is what it's for.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's really
that's my American dream right there. Right there.
It's so.
And
go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
No, I just wanted Paddy to be clear. The whole country is going to stay indoors for 6 weeks, except to go out for groceries and I'm guessing Guinness, right? Because that would be a necessity where you live. But other than that, is that the idea?
So the whole country is in lockdown. The max you can go from your home is 3 miles, or to go get groceries, etc. But you're not allowed to interact with other people. You're not allowed to have other people in your home. If you can work from home, you have to work from home, except for essential workers in healthcare and some manufacturing jobs as well. But we did that before. We did it in March 12th. We locked down for 4 months. And our COVID situation is completely different than yours.
So
we had
yours?
we had 4 deaths in 2 months, and that was too many. So we locked it down.
Oh,
you had 4 deaths,
and that was too many.
In
and that
2
was too
months.
many.
Wow.
We have 215,000, which is more dead Americans than in all 4 of the most recent wars. World War II, right? Korea, Vietnam, and Iraq, right? Those 4 American wars have not killed as many Americans as the last 5 months of COVID has in the United States.
And just to touch on what Paddy said, I posted this today or yesterday. A government that can't mobilize to house and feed us during a pandemic, but can mobilize to beat us whenever we rise up, tells you exactly where our priorities are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't care about us. That's the bottom line.
Oh. And actually, I would like to talk to Ben also about what's going on in Oregon and what happened in Oregon the past 2 months. That's a good lead up to this part. So Ben, talk to us about what's happening these days, and has anything improved on the ground over there, or are they still just sending out Secret Service in there or whatever service people that they're sending in there?
It's chilled out a little bit over here. I haven't been staying like super close in the know lately, like most recently, because things have kind of fragmented, I guess you could say. There's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different interests within the protest groups that are kind of like clashing. There's just not the solidarity that I feel like we need for like to really push this movement. I haven't been like super closely involved, but I've been out probably close to a dozen times. I got arrested and got my butt kicked by the PPB. It was an interesting experience, and I've just seen I've been following the live streams pretty closely and just seeing the citizens of the city of Portland protesting, against police brutality, and that being met with police brutality is just, I don't understand how we can keep watching the same thing night after night. And the mayor, Ted Wheeler, keeps promising, we won't use, CS gas, they're not allowed to use, munitions that are, considered war crimes and, overseas. But they do. And it just keeps happening. And he said they wouldn't allow the DHS to come and start taking people away in unmarked cars. And that's exactly what they did anyways. It's just he's just not in control at all. I will say that it's not as crazy or violent or like there's not as much destruction as the media has been trying to play it. It's mostly been focused on like one specific part of downtown, like in front of the Justice Center. But there's been but they've also like been protests at the North Precinct, the other precincts around the city, and there have been some acts of property destruction, like dumpster fires, and I think they tried to burn down the police union up by the North Precinct the night I got arrested. So there is a lot of stuff going on.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, please.
I was wondering. I want to know who are the members, in your experience, of Antifa, right? Who make up? And then the second question is if I wanted to find Antifa, could I go on the internet and look them up? Right? I don't think I could. Right? It's not an organized group in the way that the right-wing groups are, which have tons of podcasts and their own websites. But if you could tell us who makes up Antifa, and then that they really don't have any sort of structure or that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, Antifa, it's an ideology. It's not an organization. So basically, anybody who is anti-fascism or anti-fascist is Antifa. I am Antifa. I would assume that you guys are Antifa.
Yep.
It's an ideology. There are definitely like organizations and groups that are Antifa, but not, you know what I mean? Antifa itself is not an official group. There are, communist and anarchist groups that fall under that category and follow that ideology, but there's no one people or place that you can say, oh, that's Antifa.
Right. Like there's no leader, there's no, membership fees, that kind of thing. It's just
I think more than anything, Antifa has become Trump's calling card to Black Lives Matter, to anyone that's against him. And so he's put like a definition to it more than anyone else has. That's the problem.
It's just wild to me how saying that Black Lives Matter and saying that you're anti-fascist have become such dirty words in our society today. That's just explicit gaslighting from the right, from Fox News, from literally our president.
All right, so
everything about what's been happening in Portland was completely. I mean, yes, there was some serious stuff going on, but the fact that it was like a 1 block kind of radius, and they're like the whole town is burning. I mean, they really kicked this up a notch and used it for their political ways.
Yeah. Hey Ben, how much of this sustained violence do you think had to do with the pandemic, and that people were, quite frankly, out of work, right? And we'd all been cooped up in our homes for months on end. How much of that do you think is part of people going, I had to get out of my house, I had to do something, right? I couldn't get paid. Like, I'm just, in your experience, I don't expect you to answer for all the violence or whatever happened.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I'm honest. I'm trying to shift the conversation a little bit because while you guys are all sitting here, the comments are coming up that the FBI now has Hunter Biden's laptop along with the Department of Justice, and they're concurring with Ratcliffe that Hunter Biden's laptop and the emails in question weren't part of a Russian disinformation campaign, and the FBI is confirming that they have possession of the laptop now. So that's good news. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's good news or not.
I don't know either.
Do they also have?
I don't think that's good news.
Laptops?
I don't think that's good news.
Do they have Ivanka's laptop? What about Don Jr.?
Okay, well, none of that really matters. They have this laptop, and it's what, 13 days before an election now.
That's exactly what they did.
This is exactly what they did with Hillary Clinton. They opened an investigation. The FBI said, "Oh, we're going to look into this because we've got new information." And then 2 days before the freaking election, they came out and said, "Oh, nothing new. We're going to drop it." But the damage has been done. This is the
same stuff, different day.
The big difference, though, is there's already been so many people who have already voted now compared to back then. So I think it may not mean anything. I don't know.
But we shouldn't. I feel like that's a complacent stance right now.
No, it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that we need to keep our foot on their throats until
there's no taking our foot off the gas, right?
Nope.
But I also don't see something like this as being the thing that tips, right? Trump was impeached for this thing, and it didn't smear Biden then, right? Biden has had a give or take the same popularity now for more than a year, right? And so this doesn't seem like the kind of thing that's going to, in the last minutes, suddenly get people who were Biden supporters to now go, oh, I'm going to switch to Trump.
Yeah, the fraction of people that it's going to knock off the fence will be minimal. I agree with that.
I think it's because in 2016, right, they did all the email thing, and then we seen afterwards how it really was nothing. So I think people now might be looking at it as, well, this could be the same thing as that. You know, like it'll probably end up being nothing.
Well, and everyone knows not to trust Donald Trump. I mean,
right.
We didn't have the last 4 years in 2016.
Correct.
We didn't have everything we know about the man then. So, you know,
I just can't believe the percentage of people like Tucson. I mean, BrainDaddy, you saw how many people showed up at the airport yesterday. That was a lot of people.
A lot.
Was way more people than I thought would show up.
Way too many people.
Yeah, way too many people. So
there's an enormous Trump support. I've been to rallies, Trump rallies in Phoenix and in Tucson, and and I went to see. I've been now every week in Beverly Hills, California. There's several hundred Trump supporters who come out on a Saturday from 3 to 7, give or take, right? And Beverly Hills and California are going to go for Biden, right? But his base is fired up. The people that are his supporters are prepared to go out, and they're prepared to get sick, and they're also prepared to cheer for the president. Yeah. And that's a thing that Democrats have to be aware of, that his base is fired up, and clearly even in areas where the chance of winning is zero, right? It's not going to, demonstrating in Beverly Hills is a fool's errand. It's not going to change anyone's mind, nor is it going to flip the state.
Right, and they're trying to use this idea of, oh, we're enthusiastic for Donald Trump. They're trying to use it as some sort of weapon against us.
Correct.
As if we're not enthusiastic, but we're like, we are enthusiastic, but we show it in a much different way. In
we're
a
not
relevant
cultists.
way.
And then they'll criticize you for how you show it.
Let us not forget, though.
Right?
But don't forget that he's actually had casting calls for people. So what you see may not be 100%
what it actually is,
accurate.
This is the most I have. I have a Biden shirt, and that's the most I have.
Look, and we're seeing Democratic candidates raising millions and millions of dollars now, right? Who would have thought that, well, first that Brad Parscale would waste $1 billion of Trump's money, right? But Democrats, Biden has raised more money than any Democratic candidate in the presidential history. And we're not just seeing it at the presidential level. You're seeing it for senators and Congress people as well, with Democrats raking in money, quite frankly, hand over fist.
Yeah, Jamie Harrison's made a crap ton of money.
Can I just come in there? Just go back to Hunter Biden there. I think what we need to remember is that Rudy Giuliani has been doing the circuit with this stuff for 18 months on every news channel, on every platform that he can. And he's been saying the most vile and horrific things. So even at the worst case scenario, what's on the laptop is what Rudy Giuliani's been saying. And that hasn't really hurt Biden in the way that we think. And I don't think that that's even enough now to kind of move away from Trump fatigue. And then just in terms of Trump, listen, I'm looking from Ireland. We don't do any of this flag signs in the garden nonsense. I swear. Like our political scenario starts, our election starts 4 weeks out, and then it's over a week later. And if you have a sign up a week later, you're fined. You're fined. You're fined like crazy.
I'm not getting into politics here. I'm getting into politics over there. I'm 2 years out and I'm having to start already. Are you kidding me?
One thing I remember somebody said that congressmen and politicians, the second they're elected, become fundraisers. So they're professional fundraisers. In Ireland, at least, we have a scenario whereby you're still a public servant. So if you're running for election, the state actually subsidizes the amount of money that you spend, and that's capped. And once you get a certain percentage of the vote, you get 80% of your spending back.
Wow.
So it means that you can run on policy rather than money. And it's a very different scenario.
And how hard is that, man? I mean, that works pretty well over there, I'm assuming.
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to prevent from ever happening in America. That's the bottom line.
Just like universal health care.
A lot of Democrats are progressive and want a complete change like that. They want us to be more on the socialist side, and
we already are.
Exactly what they're preventing.
Like we were saying earlier, when did that become a bad word?
Right.
I mean,
when did
you're paying all these taxes and you don't want them to take care of you with it?
And just be clear, Ireland and most of Europe are not socialist. We're social democracies. So our economy is a capitalist economy, but it's underpinned by social programs to make sure that in times like this, we're covered. So it's not like we're, big socialist commie people at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in terms of how we vote, it's so different. You guys are I think Maine are going to try it out this year, ranked voting. And it's called proportional representation. So if I live in one part of the country, I have the exact percentage of representation as if I live in the capital city. And that's the kind of system you guys need. This whole electoral college thing. If you win 13 states, you can become president.
Yeah.
That's
ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Insane.
That's how we got in this problem.
And also, one of the things that really held us back from getting a hold of this pandemic early on was in 2017, Trump definanced. He completely took away all the funding for the overseas pandemic prevention programs, which were located directly in Wuhan and located all over the world, in Ethiopia and Ghana and every single country almost. We had some kind of Americans there, or other paid people outside there to research and make sure that we're not hitting another pandemic and keep everything down. If there was a pandemic in 2014 or 15 with whatever
Obama.
It's called. Yeah, with Obama, there was Ebola. There was Ebola, which ended up not being a problem at all. It only had one case that made it to the United States. And that's only because we limited the flights coming in. And it was a different kind of disease too. It was more deadly, but it also wasn't as easy to get. And it also wasn't infectious. It wasn't infectious before you felt the symptoms. You were instantly, if you had symptoms, you were infectious, but you didn't just hide in and keep inside of you until you got to a new country. Right. So, it was different, but that was the kind of response that we needed. And we just didn't get that. We didn't get any test until March. We got a test in March. On March 20th, we got the mass testing going, and we only we just had no test up until then, and all the other countries did.
Bert, don't you know that testing reveals people being sick?
Yeah.
The president doesn't want people to be revealed to be sick. So if we don't test, then people don't get sick.
Our numbers are very low.
Hear that and not know that
Lowest they've ever been.
Obama had a great pandemic playbook. And I did a TikTok about this, and I made fun of Donald Trump's pandemic playbook. But, he threw it out because he's always been trying to undermine everything that Obama has done. His vindictive nature and, defunding the CDC and even, not listening to Obama's playbook is just one other, example of that.
I feel like Donald Trump's presidency has only been to undermine Obama's presidency. Completely. That's all it's been about.
You should watch on YouTube for I'll tell you the exact moment that Donald Trump gets furious with Obama. It happens at the Al Smith dinner.
Yep.
The Al
White
Smith
House
dinner.
Correspondents'
White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, is it the Correspondents' Dinner? Where
Yeah.
Obama literally chews him up and to unbelievable applause and is incredibly embarrassing for Trump. And that's the moment I assume where
can see it in his eyes.
Indignant about this.
Now, if you can't laugh at yourself on that level,
you can't.
You have no place. You have no place being president if you can't.
He doesn't have a sense of humor. He
No.
literally, everybody who talks to about him says, "Oh, that guy. He doesn't have a sense of humor. He has no. He doesn't.
Not about
he's
himself. He's
for jokes.
trashing everybody else.
Oh, he's a narcissist. And, in Mary Trump's book, she talks about how he would fold his arms and just be like a petulant child. And that's pretty much how he's lived his life and how he's been adulting now.
Yep.
Having tantrums.
Yep.
Just coming back to the testing, by the way, guys, the amount of pregnant women who are walking around not having babies because they didn't get tested is hilarious. But in Europe, in Europe, we have a scenario where we test and we trace. If you're even suspected of having COVID, you have to stay put for 14 days, and anybody you've come in contact with has to do the exact same until you're cleared. In the States, it's COVID is there. Asher, let it go. Go on. It'll be grand. It'll be okay.
The bad thing is that they're putting out the talking point that that's what we're supposed to be doing. But the point I keep trying to make is these rules and regulations and laws, mandates, they're only as good as what you're willing to enforce.
Correct.
So you can put it on paper all you want and say, "Oh, this is what we should be doing," but the reality is that there are very few governors that are enforcing it. And then when the governors do enforce it, like Governor Whitmer in Michigan, and they start getting really upset about that.
Yeah, they're terrorists.
Yeah, so again, they're taking it and they're telling us, Paddy, that that's what we should do, but we're not enforcing it, and I think that's probably the biggest difference between the two of us.
And I would say in states like, in the state we live in, right, in Arizona, Governor Douchey, as he's affectionately known, he didn't take any of this seriously. He just brushed it off. And then at one point, we were the most cases per capita. We had more than anyone in the world, just in Arizona.
And it's going back up. Matter of fact, Mayor Romano just put out Mayor Romero. She put out something about that. So it's not getting better. And then you talk about Ducey. He was standing next to Trump with no mask at the airport when he's talking. I'm like, this guy just tested positive. He may be telling you that he's not infectious or anything, but
DeSantis did the same thing.
It's been like a week. Come on.
We had 40,000 new cases over the last 7 days, right? And that's the most in about 2 months. And the number of cases is not going down across the country. It is now going back up.
Across the world. It's not just Iran. They locked Iran down. I think it was either today or yesterday. India, we all know what's going on there. This isn't just the United States. That's what I really hope everybody watching understands, is this is across the world right now.
Absolutely.
So we can take it, we can politicize it, we can do whatever we want with it to try to sway our agenda and this election. But the reality is that this is a worldwide issue, and we need to start treating it that way. Or like Dr. Fauci said, we're going to be dorking around with this into 2022 if we don't start taking it seriously.
It can get worse, and it can become a 2023 issue. I mean, that's what Columbus did back with the Native Americans back in, and also the Spanish. I mean, that was an issue coming back again with the different diseases. I mean, we're having the same kind of diseases coming through again, just like the pandemic in 1918.
Yep. Jahko, what do you think? I want to hear what you have to say.
So I've been taking notes on what you guys have been saying, because you already know I'm shutting them down. When I go through with all these notes for my next TikTok, they're not ready for me.
Tag me in it. Tag me in it. I will duet it.
First of all, you should already know this election is a very big election. All elections are big elections, because you're making a decision that's going to impact not only the United States, but the whole world. I don't care what anybody has to say. A lot of people are saying that other people around the world don't have to worry about it. It's not going to affect them. But it is going to affect them. Because as you can see, everything that Donald Trump has done or hasn't done has caused so much damage abroad, everywhere. Now, we're not even going to talk and get into how he's been racist to different groups of people and how that has affected them around the world. But at this point, we can see he's backward. You can see when he thinks things are serious, right? When things that are serious, he takes as a joke. And things that he's supposed to take as serious, or that things that are supposed to be a joke, he takes it as serious. So we can see he's backward from that. But I'm going to let y'all continue.
No, that last sentence you said, man, that is 100% true.
Guys, we got a special guest that's joining us last second right now. We got Gary. Gary, how are you doing?
What's up, Gary?
I'm doing great. I just got off the golf course. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No, you're fine, Gary. I wanted to come at any moment. It's great to have you anytime, man. It's great to see you here. Yeah, so we're talking about Trump, and we've got Paddy here. You duetted a video of Paddy talking about the computer. We're talking about the computer and all the different stuff right now, so to catch you up on what we're talking about. But yeah, what do you think about this computer fiasco?
The Hunter Biden laptop.
Well, it was projected way out in advance, because if you remember, Burisma was broken into way back in January by the Russian government, which is probably when they planted the evidence. And they did the same thing just prior to the Macron election. The only thing to save that was the fact that in the final 24 hours in France, you're not allowed to publish anything that has to do with politics. And even though it was a few hours before the deadline, the French publications and TV networks were nice enough to not publish the crap because they realized it was exactly that, just crap. So we don't have
by the way,
kind of...
That's the norm across the world. It's called a moratorium. In Ireland, 24 hours before an election or 36 hours before an election, media shuts off. There's no publications, there's no news, there's nothing about any election whatsoever. The electorate is left alone just to vote as they see fit. Wow. 36 hours out. And nothing at all across any network.
Yeah, and it should be that way. It should be that way across the world.
Totally.
The problem is there's too much money in politics in America. And until we get the money out of politics, you're only going to get the politicians that you pay for.
I feel like that's always all it's about here is just money for politics here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just a money game for all of them.
Yep.
And it's not like that. In most other countries, it's not like that. You're limited in the amount of money that you can donate. You're limited in the amount of money that you can use in a campaign. I know in the UK, they have strict rules on that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Paddy was saying about Ireland.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's not a fundraising game at all. It's not about, you don't, like you had Lindsey Graham begging for money on Fox News a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. No politician in the history of Ireland has ever done that, and never will do anything like that, because you're capped at the amount of money that you can spend. And I know Ireland is a much smaller place, but politics is still politics.
Yep.
Hey, you guys, I've got a video to show you guys. It's actually a Trump ad, and just to show you guys how low Trump can go with his ad. And this was actually from about 3 weeks ago, and it was on the front of YouTube. And so this is one that I've never shown you guys before. It is just a guy that's like I don't know what he's doing. He's like a road worker or something, like he works on roads, or he's a dumpster guy. I don't know, like if he's a garbage man. I have no idea. But he made this vlog where he talked in front of the camera and just like talked about Trump and talked about how great Trump is doing and everything, and how we need Trump to be our leader again for another 4 years. So, I mean, I'm just going to play this. It's about 1 minute and a half or 2 minutes. I'll probably cut it a little bit early, but I just wanted to show you guys how bad Trump's campaign is right now. Like, he doesn't have any money for budgeting for any like edited proper videos or any good quality content. This is literally a guy with a phone in front of him just trying to talk to a camera.
That's going to be that's a major controversy, as well as where the $1.2 billion went that the Republican Party raised.
Yeah.
There's a ton of it missing.
Yeah. Let me show you guys this video. You guys are going to laugh. Maybe I'll just play 1 minute or 1 minute and a half of it. Here it is.
I did it. To me, Trump is a freaking godsend. To me, Trump is what is life. To me, Trump is a second chance. Sorry about that if you didn't hear me. To me, Trump is a second chance. So when you say I'm like, nah, dude, he's way more than that. He's way more than that. You see, I don't have the luxury to worry about freaking Roe versus Wade. I don't have the luxury to worry about that. I'm too busy trying to keep my family fed to think about that. And for the first goddamn time in my life, I actually see a way out. I see a way out. Something I've never seen before. I see a way out, man. And just that little bit of hope is enough for me to have a fire in my belly, powerful to freaking charge the goddamn world, man. I'm ready to take over, but if Biden gets into office, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm saying thank you to you, because you unlocked me, and I'm sure you unlocked a lot of people. There is a silent majority out there, man. I talk to them every day. I just came out of, I went to an Arab, I work for mostly Arabs, right? I went to an Arab place, right? And I asked him, who are you voting for? You know, it's safe. Who is he for? He said, Trump. And I was like, I hugged him so hard. He was like, hey, what? I was like, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm so excited to hear you say that, because I was nervous. Because all I see is Biden signs everywhere I go. And I'm like, please, Lord, don't let this guy win. You know what I'm saying? But there is a silent majority out there. I talk.
I had to cut that. That was just ridiculous. It's an ad on the front of YouTube.
Your audio.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, real quick, can I just point out one thing? So the Trump campaign is putting out this video of a black dude basically saying, well, we all just watched what he said. So they have to spend millions of dollars to put this out there, whereas the Democratic Party has elected a black president and currently has a woman. Oh, I'm sorry, let me not miss Hillary. And then the next time they put up a woman who actually won the popular vote. And then this time we've got a VP who is black, Indian, and a woman. So they are sitting here trying to tell you that they have your best interest at heart when the Democrats are actually showing you that they have your best interest at heart. And they're giving their communities a seat at the table.
Right.
So,
But you're assuming that a lot.
you can buy into it all you want and use that as a reason to say that, see, black people support Trump, but it's bullshit. So enjoy.
But most of what is done is on a surface level, and people many times are not thinking that deeply. They see what's directly in front of them, and even though they can't tell you any specifics about what Trump has done for them, because if you ask them specifically, what is it that Trump has done for you? I ask people all the time. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll see I ask questions all the time. What has Trump done to bring us together? What has Trump done to address the COVID on a national level? What is, you never get an answer because they don't have an answer.
Correct.
Everything is a gut reaction.
Yep.
And some of the comments that are coming up, I agree with. I mean, just to break it down simply, that thing you just showed us, that to me just screamed a paid actor. Like that did not feel at all authentic. That just looked like he looks like if he's a trash person, he looked completely clean. Like he just didn't look real.
I don't know what he does for a job actually, but like he just is a random guy that has a worker's outfit kind of that works on the road. I don't know what he does. I shouldn't have said he could be a trash worker. He could be
it looked like
road.
he had a dumpster behind him or something.
Yeah, he looks like
but the message. But the message is clear, and I see it after every single Trump rally, after every single event. There's that token person of color interview that's pushed to the absolute max by Republicans. Whereas from the Democrat point of view, as you said, they're showing you rather than just giving you kind of talking points.
Yep. And to touch on what Paddy said, we were talking about the Tucson thing that Trump had yesterday, and he had that black lady behind him who was nodding the whole time. Yes. And if you follow me, then you've seen that I posted like 5 photos of her with the dude that runs whatever his name is that runs the White Pride, with Roger Stone, with the vice president. Like, this is a plan. And then Trump literally today singled her out in his comments. I mean, this is just crazy.
Was that the same lady at the town hall he did? The nodding lady behind him at the town hall?
I think so, yeah.
She's become a huge celebrity.
It really is.
Do you guys remember
She
the guy
made it on
who
the
used to
Saturday
wear-
Night Live.
Do you remember the guy that used to wear the T-shirt that said "Blacks for Trump"?
Yeah.
So that guy, I had been to about a half a dozen rallies, Trump's, over the years, maybe slightly more, mostly in the Southwest, so Arizona, Nevada, mostly areas. And I would see that guy at several different events, and I got the sense that he was paid by the campaign to come out and be there. I interviewed him. I have a bunch of interviews with him up on my YouTube channel, and it was very clear that this was a guy who unfortunately has some cognitive issues, right? But he looks great in that T-shirt that says "Blacks for Trump," and he's always very strategically placed behind Trump at one of these events, and so that people can see him, right, and go, "Oh, look, there's the guy who's the Blacks for Trump guy."
Yeah.
I'm curious, Ben, are there any Trumpers in Oregon that you see on like a weekly basis just out and about?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oregon, like outside of Portland, it's pretty rural. So it is, we do have a lot of like red voters just outside of this main city. Same, like very similar story in Seattle and California. But yeah, no, I mean there have been Trump rallies and like the Proud Boys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that organization, but they're a white supremacist pro-Trump group that likes to stir up trouble. They brought bear mace, they brought firearms, they brought clubs and baseball bats to come down here to swing at all the protesters and all the counter protesters that are showing up to.
Right, because they're peacefully defending, right?
Yeah.
Because those guys are very peacefully defending their American flags with their bear mace and their baseball bats. And those people are not a danger to the American society.
Nope. Yep, not at all.
Right. And that's the fun part is you get you get these Proud Boys coming out with all their violence and all their craziness and all their all their anger and hate, and the cops just kind of stand by and let them do their thing. And let them do kind of act how they want, and they're like, oh well, we don't have the resources to intervene or to interfere. And then as soon as the Proud Boys clear out and the counter protesters or whatever remain, then they sweep in, fire off all their tear gas, chase people down, tackle people, beat them, make their arrests.
Suddenly, resources are abundant.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's because they don't want to arrest either their actual brothers, right, or the guys they go to meetings with. On a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon when they're not working.
Right.
Yeah.
In Europe, it kind of you remember Occupy Wall Street back in 2008, just after the crash. So in Europe, it kind of gets reported that these protests are very much like Occupy Wall Street. Lots of people who don't really have a whole lot to do hanging around, and of course, trouble ensues. But if you just dig just a tiny bit deeper. Past the kind of media headlines, you can see that the antagonists are very much those who show up 2 hours into a protest and disappear 2 hours before the protest ends. And the media, of course, swoop in and see the dumpster fires, and it's like, oh, Antifa again. So I'm just asking people just to dig just a tiny bit deeper than the Facebook ads and Facebook posts that you're seeing, and you'll see a much deeper picture.
And
absolutely.
It goes a little further than that too, to where like a lot of the people that incite it are white supremacists or cops or like some kind of plan, somebody that's been recruited or paid by the Portland police to make us look bad. But the vast majority of the time, I mean, it would be a peaceful protest and everything would be calm and everything would be all like on a very, safe, respectful level. And then the cops would show up. They would start, shooting their pepper balls and their rubber bullets and firing off their tear gas canisters and yelling at us from the LRAD. It never got violent until the police showed up.
Right.
I remember that there was these moms that made a circle all around the young protesters. And it was just so heroic to seeing these moms that were like in their 50s and 40s and even 60s. And they were like the ones that were kind of the ones protecting the protesters that were inside that wall because those police would not touch them. Were you a part of any of those protests, Ben, like that had the moms protecting you guys?
I was around for a couple of those, but one of like I don't know if y'all heard the main one that really got me was when the cops just completely went full force onto the wall of moms, the Portland moms who were peacefully protesting. And I think that was the turning point when anybody who was paying attention realized like, oh, okay, so the cops aren't really trying to go for law and order here. They're just going for like full on iron fist of the law, police state. We are the law, and you will do what we say or else.
Fascism.
Absolutely. That should scare the daylights out of everybody. Just that right there.
I'll tell you. I was protesting in Santa Monica, and we had no idea that 1 block away, people were smashing windows and stealing things. We were not aware of it at all, and yet we were all put in the same bucket as being these horrible rioters, and none of the people who I was involved with had anything to do with that. And it irritated the shit out of me.
So I'm going to tell you,
people on the media.
Look, I did a thing. So early on in the Black Lives Matter protests, there was a big rally that took place in Los Angeles near Beverly and Fairfax. Yeah. And so I was literally in the middle of the riot, right? And so I filmed for like 15 straight minutes of about 100 incidents of violence that took place when they lit and busted up all of these police cars, right? So, and then when I got home, it took me about a week, and I went through it incident by incident by incident, and just based on how people looked, right, to show that the violence, that they destroyed 25 police cars, right? It was really insane, right? Nothing I'd ever seen before. And I slowed it down and I watched. And a good 70% of the incidents of violence were committed by young white kids with skateboards and not people of color, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you can just see it, right? I just took a snapshot of 15 minutes and I slowed it down, and then I counted literally with arrows and pointed to people and went, look, this is not people from the Black Lives Matter protest because, look, they're not black, they're not brown. These are white kids in hoodies who had come out very specifically in order to cause mayhem. Now, I don't know whose side they were on. Maybe it's just disaffected kids who think it's fun to set police cars on fire, right? I don't know what their origin is. But what I can say...
I think it's important.
What was certain is that it wasn't the people who came to peacefully protest against the police violence.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, just like COVID is not just an American issue. Like, I'm not sure if you guys saw it on your media. Like, across the world, there was Black Lives Matter protests across the world. Tens of thousands of people in Ireland, hundreds of thousands in UK, Germany, Australia, South Africa, all across the world for days and days and days. There was hundreds, if not millions, of people protesting Black Lives Matter. So again, if you guys ever feel like you're alone, like, we're right there with you. But I just don't think that message is getting through to you. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you know where I saw the world protests was on TikTok. I didn't see it anywhere on any of our media here. Not really. I only ever knew that it was happening in other countries because of TikTok.
Yeah, I had to follow Twitter, like Twitter videos and live streams and everything, because you're not going to see anything factual on the mainstream media.
No.
Hey, Paddy, do you have?
Yep.
Would you say that people of color in Ireland have the same complaints about Irish police that blacks in America do about our police?
No, I'm only laughing because, okay, first of all, in Ireland, we've only got about 17% diversity. But we in Ireland don't have an obsession with guns. Our police force do not have guns. We don't even have tasers. We don't even have batons. We have a move along there, please. Yes, sir. No problem. I'm moving along. That's it. There's a mutual respect. Our police force are called guards, guardians of the police, of guardians of society. So we think of things very differently. There's none of this kind of passive aggression in any way, shape, or form. And our police force are not jacked up on steroids who only qualified after 6 months of training. Here it's like 3 years minimum. Yeah. And then you're allowed to be on the streets. But it's completely different. And your obsession with guns in particular, guys, is one of the, like, it's so blatantly obvious to the rest of the world. But you guys, I gotta have my Second Amendment. Well, no, you don't.
Well, that's what makes America and this election so terrifying, because you've got the, shit show that's going on, plus the guns, plus, people marching with their, machine rifles or whatever on capitals. I mean, we're insane over here. We are.
The funny thing about
this is part of the problem right here. This all lives matters thing. I'm sorry, but I saw this and it's just you're missing the whole point of the movement if this is your statement. Seriously.
Get it. Yeah.
The funny thing about the guns is Canada has more guns per capita than we do. Yet in Canada, they have less killings by gun in a year in their entire country than Chicago has in 1 month.
Wow.
So why is that? Because they're right above us. We're basically the same people. So why is it that one country can have guns and not kill each other, and yet we kill 70,000 people a year?
Freedom.
Hey, Paddy, how do they handle, like in Ireland then, what if there is a violent situation? How do they address that if they don't have guns or a bomb?
Is
that what you said?
No. No, it's just a numbers game. So literally resources are pulled from around the country and, descend upon an area, but it's in no way, shape or form aggressive. But people don't attack the police here.
Right.
Like it's almost like the way we were raised. You don't talk ill of your local policeman, teacher, or clergyman. Well, never mind the clergyman anymore. Yeah, long story there. But it's just we don't have that innate kind of inbuilt kind of aggression towards authority here that you guys clearly have there. Like you would never have.
They're the good guys over there.
Say again?
They're the good guys over there where you are. Over here, they're not the good guys. They're not trying to serve or protect. They're protecting the interests of the 1% and the interests of the state. They don't give a crap about any of us little people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, the police have become so violent, and I mean, it's been happening the past 20 years. It's just been an escalating problem, getting worse and worse. I mean, they've also killed white people, they've killed black people, they've killed a lot of different ethnic groups, and it doesn't really matter who you are. They're very dangerous to everybody, but they are extremely dangerous to black people, especially.
They are more representative of our higher echelon of political pyramid right now, because it seems like everything does roll downhill. And if you look at the violence that Trump talks about, and is always the fact of the matter is if my president speaks like that and I'm a cop, then he's got my back.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize also about the protests and the BLM movement is that it's just as much a class thing as it is a race thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just the level of poverty and the percentage of people of color and, African Americans specifically that are facing poverty in our country is insane. It's undeniable anymore at this point. And so I feel like a lot of those, white kids in hoodies that, are coming out to these protests, a lot of them are protesting not just because obviously Black Lives Matter, but no, we're all in the same boat. We're all getting screwed by the man. We're all getting paid a minimum wage that we can't even afford a 1-bedroom apartment off of.
Right. Absolutely.
And please just remember as well, in Europe and in Ireland, I have free education. I have access to free education. I have 9 years of college education, and it cost me $300 total, complete. So in America, you guys have an utter chasm, when it comes to education. So if you guys are, if the biggest educator to young kids is a racist parent or grandparents, up until the age of 18, then there's a problem there. You know what I mean? So here it's like we are expected to go on to college, third level, and maybe that's a big factor in the fact that we don't have as much. We only have 12,000 police members here, and every year we have an average of about 22 murders total for the entire country for the entire year. So it's a very different society.
12,000 total in the whole country?
Total cops in the entire country,
Wow.
Hey, you guys, Ryan, I think, had to leave just now. He's got something he probably has to do, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Ryan and tell him thank you for joining us. And make sure you go check out Ryan Shead's channel. It's in the description below. I just wanted to give him a shout out and tell him, because I try to give everyone a shout out if they leave. But I think he had to leave just now. But anyways, we're back on to the discussion. Let's talk about Dr. Fauci and how inappropriate Trump is treating Dr. Fauci right now, because I think that's a pretty big deal. I just really can't believe how horrible he's been to Dr. Fauci. Let's play the video really fast, and then we'll talk about it.
The war of words between President Trump and Dr. Anthony Fauci is heating up. Last night, Dr. Fauci was on 60 Minutes saying he wasn't surprised that Mr. Trump had contracted the virus. Today, on a call with campaign staff and some members of the press, the president let loose on the nation's leading infectious disease expert.
President Trump is trashing Dr. Anthony Fauci today, calling him an idiot in a call to his campaign staff that reporters were allowed to listen in on.
People are tired of hearing Fauci and all these idiots. Every time he goes on television, there's always a bomb, but there's a bigger bomb if you fire him.
Trump's fury came after Fauci's 60 Minutes appearance, in which he criticized last month's White House Amy Coney Barrett event.
Were you surprised that President Trump got sick?
Absolutely not.
When I saw that on TV, I said, oh my goodness, nothing good can come out of that. That's got to be a problem. And then sure enough, it turned out to be a super spreader event.
Fauci also revealed that he's protected round the clock by federal agents because he and his family are getting death threats.
That's sad. The very fact that a public health message to save lives triggers such venom and animosity to me that it results in real and credible threats to my life and my safety.
Trump was asked about the feud today.
Why did you criticize Dr. Fauci?
No, I think really Dr. Fauci's a very nice man, but we let him do what he wants to do. He gets a lot of television. He loves being on television, and we let him do it. Sometimes he says things that are a little bit off, and they get built up, unfortunately, but he's a nice guy. I like him.
Then he delivered this zinger.
I don't want to. I don't want to hurt him. He's been there for about 350 years. I don't want to hurt him.
At an airport rally in Arizona, Trump continued ranting about Fauci and said Americans are fed up with the pandemic.
They're getting tired of the pandemic, aren't they? Getting tired of the pandemic. You turn on CNN, that's all they cover. COVID, COVID, pandemic, COVID, COVID, COVID. You know why? They're trying to talk everybody out of voting. People aren't buying at CNN, you dumb bastards.
On Sunday, the president appeared at an indoor church service in Las Vegas. He was spotted pulling out a wad of cash and counting out what appeared to be 4 $20 bills before depositing it into the collection bucket.
Come on, church, pray.
The 200 worshipers, most not wearing masks and no one practicing social distancing, sang the president's praises. He was there with his top aides, Kayleigh McEnany and Hope Hicks, who have both recovered from their bouts with COVID-19.
Come here, Hope.
He even called Hicks up on stage at a rally in Florida.
Okay, guys, that was just ridiculous. Okay, so the hypocrisy, he's giving $20 or $80, I guess he gave to the church, and he's some great guy. I mean, he's a millionaire or billionaire. He gave $80 to a church. I mean, I don't know.
I'd be surprised if he's a thousandaire.
Let's be clear.
Right.
I paid more tax than Donald Trump in 2016. So let's not give it away. Like, you know, he's not half as rich as he thinks he is.
Honestly, he is the worst, and everything that he has said about Fauci makes my blood boil.
Yep.
He has been the antithesis of derelict leader for this coronavirus, and our division in this country is based on so much of COVID right now. I mean, everything that he's done has just made this country so much worse. And for him to just, say that about Dr. Fauci, the one person that was actually trying to care for us, really just ticks me off.
The fact that he said, we're so tired of COVID. We wouldn't have to be tired of COVID if you handled this better. What?
Yeah, we're tired of the pandemic, but we're more tired of your crappy response to it.
Yeah.
His response is always...
I'm just tired of his voice. I'm tired of hearing him.
Everything.
Every day. It's like another horrible soundbite. Ugh.
Yeah.
I got to say, calling out Dr. Fauci, like literally an American hero who, helped with the AIDS pandemic, et cetera, right? It was, Paddy, you'll know this. You'll back me up. This is worse than the time that the Irish Prime Minister called out the Lucky Charms guy. And that was an Irish scandal.
Just to be clear, we don't have Lucky Charms in Ireland. That's an American cereal. It doesn't get sold here. It's like nothing to do with us. That's your own stereotypes.
Capitalism at its finest, right there.
Yeah, really offensive.
But listen, just in terms of Fauci, I mean it. Sorry.
I feel sorry
Go ahead,
for
Jack.
Dr. Fauci. I really feel sorry for Dr. Fauci. He spent 50 years of his life dedicated to saving lives. And now he had to spend the 4 years of his life to deal with this guy. And this guy thinks everything's a joke, right? He had one job, right? They told him to wear a mask. It's a very simple thing. They didn't ask that much. Now, It's no surprise he caught the virus. I don't even think he actually caught it. That's probably another scam.
Yeah.
So I feel sorry for Dr. Fauci. He had to go through too much for this. Too much.
I agree.
Yeah, totally, Mr. Jahko, you're totally 100% correct. And I also today I wanted to talk about Christopher Columbus, but I think we can't really talk about that today. We're gonna have to save that for another day, honestly. But there's so much to talk about, honestly. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
I've got like 3 more clips to play even, but I don't think we're gonna get to them. I'm really having a great time though. Gary was just in here. He left, I think, because he probably has to drive somewhere. But I think that you, John, and Gary should meet up for doing something together, like a collaboration on TikTok or something.
Sure, I'm
You
in
guys are
Santa
both
Monica.
Yeah, exactly. He's in Santa Monica too, or around the area. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Anyways, I'll talk to you later about that. But so make sure you guys go follow Gary Mosher, I think his name is, on YouTube. I'm gonna be putting it in the comment section below. I'll put it into the description down below. I think I'll try to do that. I didn't put it in right now. So he's the only person missing in this group that is not in the comment section, in the description below. But anyways, Gary Mosher is his name, and he's just an amazing guy. He makes great points. He's got like almost 50,000 people on TikTok. He's been blowing up on TikTok lately, and definitely go check him out. His TikToks really, they're just truth, you know. And anyways,
I've duetted a few of his videos in the past. He's really good.
Yeah. So definitely go check out Gary Mosher. Am I saying his name correct?
I don't know.
Mosher. I think. Okay, so
Mosher.
Gary Mosher. Yeah. But anyways, guys, back on topic. It's just insane how badly Trump is treating Dr. Fauci. I mean, Dr. Fauci doesn't take political sides, and he put Trump into an ad of his that was very edited and made him look like he supports Trump. But he doesn't want anything to do with taking any sides because he just wants to stay in his office, and he doesn't want to be political at all. He votes for who he votes for.
The poor
he
man is getting
know.
death threats now.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the right has taken this like hatred of masks and like COVID is a hoax to like a whole crazy level. And apparently they're never going to learn until it actually directly affects them. And even then they're like, don't care. Like, I mean, at this point, there's nothing you can't talk to people like that.
I'm getting so tired of hearing all of them say it's fake, it's a hoax, it's not real, and then they get it and they're like, "Oh, feel sorry for me." No, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
like,
and then you're threatening a man's life. I mean, come on.
And Dr. Fauci has been trying to get the pandemic teams all around the world back on the payroll, but of course Trump he
won't.
Didn't give them any money. After 2017, he fired everybody, dismissed everybody is the words that he says. And Dr. Fauci advised against dismissing the pandemic world team that we had all around the world. We had such a good pandemic playbook that literally is wasted because Trump just wanted to save money and put it towards the military because he thought we needed more military action in Iran or Afghanistan. I don't know what he was thinking, but he has failed us. And yeah, Dr. Fauci never told Trump that there was a good idea to take away the pandemic foundation or whatever we call it, the center of pandemic control that we had all around the world.
Well, have you heard the rumor? Dr. Fauci helped fund the coronavirus. Haven't you heard this?
Also, he's a pedophile.
Yeah.
He's a pedophile in bed with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And they're
Oh my
running
God.
a ring from a pizzeria.
And Bill Gates is right there too. Bill Gates, he had the place in Wuhan apparently. I mean, I heard it. I made
honestly,
a video.
the misinformation and the way that these Trumpers are diving into conspiracy theories, we are so far away from, ever having any kind of unity or any kind of cohesive idea of where to take this country right now. And we're so messed up. It's
I gotta say, assuming that Biden wins, right? And I assume that he will, right? My better angels say, "Oh, don't gloat, don't don't dance on Trump's grave." However, I would like very much to dance on his metaphorical grave and gloat and but I don't know what that would actually accomplish, right? I don't know. I don't know if it would accomplish anything.
Other than internal, like,
it would
feelings
feel
of amazing.
good.
Yeah, it would feel great.
Oh, it would feel good too. But
then we would be just like his people, you know. So then it's kind of like,
I know, but
internalize.
Listen, just in the same way that COVID doesn't give a damn what politics you have, medical professionals don't care what politics you have either. So I think we need to come at it from that point of view. But people constantly ask me, "Hey, Paddy, what do the rest of the world think of America right now?" And are they laughing at us? And I say, no, we laughed at you when Bush was president. We laughed then because that was funny. But now it's dangerous. Now we just don't want you anywhere near us.
Yeah.
You know, you are the corona for us. You know, you're the leg that we want to cut off because it's going to infect the rest of the body.
Yeah.
And that probably sounds harsh, but it's really it's a necessity now. And Joe Biden will win. I have no doubt. You know, I have no doubt that he will win. But I don't think Donald Trump will stick around. I think he'll just head off and do Trump TV or, buy a mansion in North Korea or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've asked a question on my page before of, world, chime in. What do you think of us? And they all said basically what Paddy just said. I mean, this is coming from Asia, from New Zealand, from Australia, from like Africa, from everywhere. It's just like that we are the pandemic itself. That they want to cut off all of their borders, from us going over there because Trump's an embarrassment. Trump's a joke. Trump supporters are a joke. And Trump supporters themselves are this infectious group of people who just spread hate and also the virus. So
I'm pretty sure is that ban on American travelers still?
You're not wrong.
The what?
Yeah, 91.2% of the world have banned travel from the United States.
So
awesome.
Nobody wants us.
Right.
Nobody wants us around.
I do know the countries that will allow Americans because I actually am about to leave the country very soon. So, I mean, Albania will let Americans come in. Mexico will let Americans come in. There's
Croatia.
Yes, Croatia. Serbia will also. Sweden will also let Americans come in, apparently. And there's some other countries around. But you can also do a quarantine in UK. So if you land in UK or Ireland, you can go to a quarantine that's proper, hopefully in a proper hotel, like we should have done back in America back in March. I came in from China to America, and I did not have any quarantine. They did not ask me any important questions about where I had been, if I had been to Wuhan or if I'd been somewhere else. I came in March 23rd, and there was nothing. There was no quarantine and nothing for me.
Was that before his big ban of travel from China?
He did the travel ban from China back in January 30th, which was
it still allowed thousands of people to come in.
Yeah,
like
40,000.
It wasn't a ban. Yeah.
But again, there's no point in talking about I closed down the border with China. Listen, he can do that all he wants, but he left the back door open in terms of the northeast corridor, and which was decimated by Europe. Let's be clear. Europeans destroyed the East Coast in early days, and he kept going back to this, I closed down the border, what do you want me to do? Well, no, you didn't. You closed down some travel with China, and everyone else was carte blanche.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, I wouldn't have thought that the Europeans that traveled to the East Coast would have brought that much virus with them, because it would be so rare for someone to have gotten it from Europe back in those days. It seems like. So it must have just traveled so far away in Europe and come to the United States and just been able to have a host, yet not get them sick yet. But then that virus was there, and it was the more deadly, more contagious virus on the East Coast, because there's multiple strains of the coronavirus. There's the one that's super deadly it's like 10 times more contagious, and it spreads, and it doesn't really necessarily kill as many people, but it is so deadly. It's 10 times more deadly than the normal one. And then the normal one could be extremely deadly, that happened to go to Italy at first. And then there's just a whole bunch of variations, and it's totally changing. You never know which one you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
What's so bizarre about Europe was you guys were able to see Italy happen France happened, the UK happened, and it didn't really impact the US until towards the end of March in catastrophic proportion. You guys saw that and waited for it to come, and then still did nothing. It doesn't make sense to me that you guys still waited for 7 weeks of doing nothing, and then went, "Oh, it's here now. We may do something."
It's kind of like the scene. It's kind of like the scene of Austin Powers where the guy is about to get run over by the little bulldozer thing, and it's very slow motion, and he's like, "No, no," and it takes like 10 no's for the thing to run him over, and that is the U.S.'s response to coronavirus. I'm sorry, John. You had something to say, John.
No, I was just going to say that Paddy apparently doesn't understand how science works. If you don't test, then you don't get positive results, and people don't get sick. That is
it's true.
As simple as that.
It worked for us.
The two talking points from Trump supporters. First is, well, on November 4th, COVID is over. Well, it's not a 7 billion person conspiracy. I'm sorry to break it up. And the second point is, if it's my turn, God will look after me. Would you ever? Sorry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my.
But what about you spreading it to the other person? I always say Jesus would be wearing a mask. If he was alive right now, he would be definitely wearing a mask, because I cannot imagine he doesn't care about other people that much. He really cares about other people.
Honestly, I think one thing that has, not one thing, coronavirus has exposed so much of our country. It's exposed how selfish we are. It's exposed how greedy the 1% is. It's exposed how they don't care about us living or dying in America in particular. But I mean, this is just the catalyst that's exposed, and is exposed how, people are being taken advantage of, and they don't even care. They just don't care.
It's kind of been eye-opening for just to see who your friends really are and who your friends really aren't with this whole thing. Like, I work with people who I never would have thought they would have acted that way, but now I know they act that way. I'm like, cool. So my life doesn't matter as much to you as I thought it did. So that's great.
Yeah, no, definitely. So you guys, we got to start wrapping it up. I wanted to play one thing. Trump really. Oh, John, did you want to say something?
No, I had to go, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, thank you, John.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Can we plug your channel or talk about your voting thing? You can talk about voting.
Remind people to vote. I don't want to use the time to plug myself. That's for another day. I just really want to remind everyone, please, you got 14 more days, right? If you've gotten this far in the video, please, clearly you're interested. Please make sure that you have a plan to vote, and that you're going to vote for Joe Biden and the other Democrats on your slate. That means from the Senate, the House, your local officials, et cetera, et cetera. We need for there to be an overwhelming number of people in order to prevent Trump from stealing this thing, because he's going to try every trick there is. So November 3rd, make sure you vote.
Thank you, John. And definitely also go make sure you check out John's channel, Be Less Stupid. It's a really great channel, and I've been watching it. Oh, Mr. Jahko, do you have to go? Or
I just wanted to add something in there. I was just going to reiterate what Senator Kamala Harris had said already at the vice presidential debate. She said, what we are witnessing right now is the greatest failure of a presidential administration in the history of our country. So the only way that we can save this country and basically save the world, because as I said before, this election can change the world. It's basically everyone's lives are riding on this election. So if people really get out and vote, we can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that like every single election, they always say, oh, it's going to change the world if we can get this guy in, like Obama versus McCain, and then Mitt Romney versus Obama. But honestly, this one is really important because Trump is a monster. He is literally, he could be the Antichrist in so many different ways. I'm not joking. It's very serious. Like, he is so sick and demented. And if there is an Antichrist that ever will exist, it is definitely Trump. And there will be maybe multiple Antichrists. He pretends that he loves God and he goes to church. He literally has never been to church. He was in church for that video I showed you guys, but he doesn't go to church.
In it, you know. It burns up if he steps in it.
Yeah.
I mean, even biblically, if you look at Revelation and a lot of different passages in Daniel, yeah, it kind of predicts something similar to a Trump presidency, where like basically he's going to bamboozle all the Christians into thinking he's one of them, and they're going to follow him because they're following like the name or whatever he's claiming them to be, and not actually digging into if he's actually genuine in any of his stances or beliefs.
That's incredibly accurate.
Really interesting.
I just wanted to add there. Donald Trump, I made a video about this on TikTok as well. Donald Trump it's almost like America is an addict and Donald Trump is the addiction. But Donald Trump is only a symptom. He's only a symptom of the bigger problems that you have. So when Joe Biden becomes president, and hopefully it's a blue House and a blue Senate, then all of my content will be based around tearing down the system, that it's so broken that it's keeping the knee on your neck. And I'm sorry to take that, but it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I wanted to play a really quick clip of it's another Trump commercial that's really poorly done with a horrible background music, and it's Ivanka reading a script. It's kind of funny, but so talking about the kids going back to school, how they need to go back to school, and like now we've got these really huge spikes of coronavirus in Wisconsin and all the other red states, and it's also getting to the blue states too. Don't be mistaken. We're also feeling the effects of coronavirus too, but the red states are the Can
I get my puke bucket real quick if I'm going to be looking at Ivanka?
Go get it right now.
Okay.
We're going to start this thing right now. Here it is.
When children are out of school, they are missing more than just time in the classroom. They're missing the laughter of their friends and the joy of recess and play. Children's mental health and social development must be as much of a priority as physical health. The same is true for parents. Many will be forced to make stressful choices between caring for their children and going back to work, and we must address those needs as well as their own mental health and well-being.
It was so funny.
What I hear is we don't want to lose any money, so.
She was reading off of a script. There's no like actual scene, like there's no thought that goes into her video, like actual thinking. It was like, read this, please, Ivanka, and say it into the microphone, and we're gonna use all the B-roll that you went to the schools that show everybody.
It's Melania.
Things.
It's Melania. Melania, Ivanka, same thing.
Melania.
They're basically the same person.
But here's the thing.
Sorry.
Here's the thing about Melania. The day she wore that jacket with those words on the back, she lost all credibility forever.
Yep.
And I think a big problem in the States is political amnesia. So much is happening every single day. You guys have forgotten what happened 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago. And if you were to list it all out, there would be no discussion. It would just be a Biden vote and blue vote up the ticket.
I've been saying this. We need to have especially on TikTok, we need to show a montage of the last 4 years and really remind people of all this craziness. Because I mean, every week it's another thing, right?
Like the Full House, like a Full House theme song in the background, so it's catchy. Like the montage of all this.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of the point, though, because because the whole idea that there's so much happening all the time, it's like I haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago. I haven't forgotten what happened 3 years ago, when Trump first said grab her by the pussy.
Yeah.
But there have been so many things that happened that all of his followers are so set on being like, no, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. Prove it. And they don't actually want you to prove it, because as soon as you start listing out all the things, they're like, oh, no, that happened too long ago. That was forever ago, or that didn't actually matter. And they just kind of explain it away. So I think this over inundation of scandals and just horrible things that he's been doing and saying has been, I don't know, partially at least intentional for manipulating his base and just the general populace.
And I say it all the time. I say it all the time on my page. I'm like, you guys understand video exists, correct? And because I'm like, I can go pull up a video and I can do your homework for you.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. It's like, then you show it to them and then they're like, yeah, well, Obama did this. I'm like, okay. What?
And then you have to pull up another video or article to prove that wrong. And it's just an endless cycle of them denying
exactly.
And in Europe, we kind of look, because politicians here wouldn't have survived even one of those scandals. Like, just a very quick example, our Minister for Agriculture, our Secretary of Agriculture, went to a golf tournament and didn't understand that the guidelines for COVID had changed. Within 24 hours, he resigned because the people said, if it's one rule for us all or nothing, and he had to resign.
Wow.
So Donald Trump wouldn't have survived a week in office in Europe. And that's why I keep saying checks and balances don't work in the US anymore. The checks and balances are in Europe lie with the people. Yeah. And when we decide time's up, good luck. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, none of our presidents have gotten away with a fraction of what Trump's gotten away with. I mean, Obama was crucified for wearing a tan suit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
Michelle Obama for wearing a sleeveless dress.
Barack
wore a motorcycle helmet one time.
And you know what? I'm sure the double standards will continue with Biden.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it
oh
will,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though we've seen everything, it feels like we've seen everything.
I always present that to him too. I'm like, okay, so let's think about it this way. What if Joe Biden had said, grab him by the what? What would you guys have said? And then they're just like, they never respond. They never respond to it. It's like, okay, so just making sure we're on the same page then.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, like, I don't think Joe Biden is perfect. He's not the perfect candidate.
No way.
Like, I really would have rather had Bernie Sanders be on the ticket. But, you know, we got to at least accept this. And, you know, he is willing to redo the police, hopefully, and also hopefully keep our healthcare the way it is, if not make it better. And he knows that there's a lot of problems and he wants to work it out. But Trump doesn't think that there's any problems, and he doesn't want to listen to the science. Just like that new ad, which was hilarious, by the way, by the Biden campaign, saying that that Biden will listen to science. And Biden said, I approve this ad. And it was Trump saying that Biden will listen to science. It was such a classic ad. I loved it.
He's done that a couple of times. He's writing his own campaign.
Yeah, and he knows it.
Amazing.
I keep saying that Donald Trump is winning Joe Biden's election for him. So Joe Biden can go sleep in his basement, like they keep saying, because he doesn't need to do
Joe
anything.
Biden.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do crap. Donald Trump's winning for him. Like, it's just that simple.
He's also willing to open his mouth at any time. So
correct,
you know.
And he said, if I lose this election, you'll never see me again. I'm going to go away. And that was amazing. I approve this message. It was such a good moment of the Biden campaign.
Can I just say, like a miracle, he'll go away. That's not what I hope.
Yeah.
We can only hope. We can really only hope.
I just hope he goes away to prison and not.
And recently he said that if he wins the election, or if Joe Biden wins the election, that he was going to leave the country. So I want to see where he's going to go. Where else in the country is he going to go? Where outside of the
I feel like it's always setting the stage for, something else. The election's going to be rigged because then he can, take his loss and, say that, it was because I didn't really lose. And then he has to leave the country because he doesn't want to go to prison. So he's always setting the stage for what's coming next for him.
Yeah.
So to answer,
he should go to Iran personally. Just saying.
So to answer Jahko's question, I think that he is going to be going to France because France has got a special a thing that does not bring people back to their home country. He'll go to France, and actually that's where Melania wants to go. I get confused between the two because
it's easy to do.
Honestly, Trump is interested in both.
Probably less.
I think one of them he's more interested in, and with
probably less interested in Melania.
Yeah.
Wow,
just a joke, guys. But anyways, it's true. It's true. It's funny because it's true.
It's a truth.
And this is our president.
Yay!
Yep.
Okay,
I
so
gotta take off real quick. I'm so sorry, but
oh wait, Ben, can we just get your you say your YouTube channel right now so the 79 people watching can maybe subscribe to your YouTube, because I did not put it in the description below. So I hope that you guys go follow Ben. He is a musician, a guitarist, a singer, and a very skilled artist. So tell us your YouTube channel, Ben.
It's just Ben Brown, BROWNE. I mean, I haven't been super active on it, so don't stress about that.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to give, next time if you come to the show, I'm going to put you into the description so people can look you up a lot easier. I can't put you in the description now that it's already.
Yeah, no worries.
Streaming. So
anyways, just get out and vote, people. Seriously.
Yeah.
This is serious.
Well, thank you so much, Ben, for joining us. We will see you next time you join our show.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
Yeah, totally honored to be with you guys and to get to talk with y'all. So thank you for having me.
Oh, and join TikTok too. You got to join TikTok if you come to the show.
I added everybody already, and I'm going to start putting videos up on mine. So yeah, I got it. I got it.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Cool. Go follow Ben. Ben Brown on TikTok, right?
Yeah, it should be Benja Brownie 91.
Okay. Cool. Benja
Make
Brownie
it easy for
91.
Yeah.
Benji Brownie 91.
Benja Brownie. So BENJABR. Yeah.
Okay, we'll follow you on TikTok. I'm gonna try to get your TikTok and I'll give it to everybody here. So cool.
Y'all
okay,
take care.
Have
Thanks
a great
again.
night, Ben.
Bye.
Yeah, you too.
Cool. So anyways, you guys, we're kind of running out of time, but it's just so awesome to have you here, Paddy. Every single live stream we've had a foreigner from either Canada, Australia, or Ireland, or France join us. So it's actually kind of a tradition, but I didn't even mean for it to happen. I just always love to invite people that have got different opinions because I've traveled the world and seen a lot of places. I have not been to Ireland, by the way, but I've got a lot of friends in Ireland.
Isn't it amazing? That's the first time in my life I've been called a foreigner. We don't call people. I've never been called a foreigner in my life before.
You know why? It's because I lived in China and they always call us La Wai Goran, which means foreigner. And so we're always called us foreigners in China. So I've gotten very used to calling anyone that's not from my country a foreigner because the Chinese always call everybody that doesn't live in their country a foreigner. So that's kind of that's my story behind that. But yeah, they say, Wai Goran. Nisha Wai Goran. That means you're a foreigner. And then they always start off with that. Anyways, they're always inappropriate like that. They always say, you're a foreigner. I want to hang out with you. So anyways, that's what they do in China.
I'm just kidding. It's okay.
Well, yeah, it's great to have you. I'm really happy to have you and get your opinion. I think we all can learn something from Ireland's system, and it's just great. And there's one more video to play. You guys have time for one more video, and then we're going to get to the ending of our whole thing. One last video, yeah? We're good?
Sure.
Okay. We'll just play part of it.
They call, and has the president given up his check? I don't have to, I'm the only president, they say, maybe I'm wrong, they'll say, 100 years ago somebody else did. I'm the only president that did not accept a salary, which surprised me. It's $450,000. The only reason I mention it is they never talk about it. But what they do is they call up every month. Did he give up his check? And Kaylee, where's Kaylee? Is she here? Where's Kaylee? Our great Kaylee. Where's Kaylee? Kaylee! She's around. Whoa! Kaylee, come here, Kaylee. Wait. So she just recovered from COVID. Can you believe it? Stay away from me, Kaylee. No, Kaylee. Is it true? They call all the time. Did he give up his check, his salary check? And she's always like, okay, they never write about that. If I ever didn't give it up, it would be headlines. Trump refused. These people are the worst. But is that true, Kaylee? Say a couple of words.
That is absolutely true, Mr. President. And let me tell you this, guys. With your help, we can beat social media. We can beat the media because we have the greatest fighter in the history of this country in President Donald J. Trump.
Okay, guys, that was amazing.
So many red hats.
And no masks to be seen. There was no mask.
I'm surprised.
Hey, that's my home state right there, baby.
Trump had the
Oh,
virus.
sorry. Jahko, sorry, repeat yourself one more time.
Oh, I said Trump had the virus, right? And she was right next to him. So if she did recover from it, she probably still has it now, or she got it back because she weren't right next to him. So.
Yeah, no, it was really, it was really bizarre. He kind of just freestyles his big party things. He literally just is like talks random gibberish all the time, and he just thinks that his show is just freestyle basically.
At the very beginning of that, he sounded like he was incredibly intoxicated. He's like, "I don't take a salary and sex." Like, okay, bud, here you go. Drink your chocolate milk and go away.
He's the first president that doesn't take a salary, but he spends a lot of money going golfing every week, which each time he goes golfing costs at least like $500,000 to $1 million, depending on if he takes the Air Force One. If he takes that baby up, it's $100,000 to take a 747 up in the air. It's $100,000.
Remember what he said? I will never golf. He said it. I will never have time to golf.
There's a tracker. There's Trump's golf count. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Let's not forget his peer is $4 billion to maintain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is.
And just a fact check there, George Washington didn't take a salary, and Obama donated $1 million to charity from his salaries as well. So it's not as though, and Donald Trump, he does take his salary and then he chooses to do something with it. He doesn't leave it with the revenue. So that's a stickler for me. It kind of annoys me when he says, I'm not taking it. No, he does take it and then decides what to do with it. Yeah. Same as you or I can decide what we want to do with our salary.
He probably puts it into a Trump fund, like a Trump charity campaign that helps Trump orphanages or Trump. I don't know what his failed businesses are, but it's just he does something with it. He has like some kind of organizations that are like probably like profit-free organizations, like free profit. I don't know.
The donations themselves are tax breaks in and of themselves.
Yes.
So again, he's looking for tax breaks by donating his salaries whilst taking $200 million to go golf.
That's why he pays $750 because he does those kind of things. It's all legal loopholes, and that every Trumper will tell you that he's just smart. He's doing the legal loopholes. Yeah, but it's not honest. It's not honest donations. It's not real honest stuff.
They even go that extra mile by saying Joe Biden wrote these rules. It's because of him.
Oh yeah,
that he was allowed to do this.
So you guys, I think we got to end our thing. We're going to go around the room and get the outros of everybody here. And then I'm going to be playing a very special video from Mermaidmama Maggie, just the same one that we played on the intro of yesterday's, or not yesterday's, but Sundays. Yeah. But I'm just going to do that again because I love your video so much. And I think that everybody, all 63 people that are watching right now, I really think that you guys are going to love her video. So make sure you stick it until the end and subscribe to Mermaidmama Maggie. She's got she just started her YouTube channel the other day. So she's got 10 subscribers.
You made me do it. So I'm doing that now. I have 8 followers now, guys. So,
And also go follow Mr. Jahko. And I think we're all going to start YouTube. Everybody, including Paddy the Panda, is going to start YouTube. I've convinced all of the TikTokers in this crew to start YouTube. And we're going to work together for even past this election. We're going to create a community of maybe 50, maybe 100 TikTokers. And we're going to just do live streams all the time. And it's going to be always fun. And, I'm doing my arms like Trump right now. I've been watching too much Trump. It's going to be always fun. Okay, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyways, let's start off with
the tiny hands. Yes. How did they just make an appearance now? Oh my God!
I kept seeing them play with
them. Here.
We're gonna build a wall. It's gonna be huge. Believe me. My favorite daughter, Ivanka, also my wife. Don't tell anyone.
Sorry, I just,
Yes.
Take the focus off me. Come on.
No, go back. More tiny hands. More tiny hands.
No. It's okay.
Amazing, you guys. Really amazing. But yeah, so anyways, let's go around the room and just talk about what you do on YouTube and TikTok. And yeah, we're going to build up our YouTube channels one by one. We're not all big on YouTube, but we are. You guys are all big on TikTok, comparatively, really big. So yeah, no, Maggie, it's okay. You're going to get there. Don't worry. You're on the right track. Especially
I'm having fun. It's all good.
With your networking of all of us. I mean, we're going to all help each other out eventually. So anyways, Mr. Jahko.
It's okay. So yeah, I'm Mr. Jahko. You can find me on TikTok. I basically on there I do a whole bunch of things. I do rhymes, poetry, I sing, I make skits, anything that I can get to portray the message that Donald Trump is not a great guy and we should do everything we can to vote. And before I get off, I just wanted to close out my part with this simple rhyme, but it has very great importance to what's going on right now. So vote blue, because it's the right thing to do. Voting conservative or green, your hands are not clean. Vote red, you must be sick in the head. And that's all I have to say.
That's a perfect summary. It's a perfect summary.
But yeah, so anyways, we've got Paddy the Panda, who's going to start YouTube soon, right?
Yeah, so I started a YouTube channel, so I have 0 subscribers, so people are already way ahead of me there. So Paddy the Panda on YouTube, and on TikTok is my main base, so it's Paddy the Panda there. And again, all of my content is kind of just a little bit political, a little bit of satire, lots of big hugs. And you're probably going to see a lot more of me towards the election because I'm very passionate about this. And the reason why I am is because I spent 5 years in the States. I have family, I have friends there, and I'm not going to let them down by just sitting on my ass over here in Ireland. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really, really good. Yeah.
Anymore. And I'm not as big as the BrainDaddy there, who now has 2 full accounts, who he's operating both accounts, 18 videos a day. Fair play to him. I can't even keep up. And every time he posts, everybody says, Paddy, the American version of you just posted something. You want to go check that out? Thanks, Mike.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And then we got Mermaidmama Maggie.
Yes. Okay. So my page it's a lot of silliness, comedy, political satire. Yeah, that's what I do. And I'm having a blast doing it. I'm also a mom. So, this election means a lot to me because my children's future is at stake here. I mean, it's not just us here. It's the next generation. So I bring that perspective to it.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And she looks like Idina Menzel 20 years ago.
Oh my God! Yes.
Anybody else notice that?
Yes.
Idina Menzel 20 years ago. Just saying. Just pick that up. Right
I'm defying gravity.
Yes. That's who I was like. I was like, oh my God, you look so familiar.
Oh, that's cool. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, Mermaidmama Maggie, she does look like familiar in some kind of way. But I don't know where to put her. I actually don't know that celebrity.
No.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. She does look super familiar there. She's got one of those faces, though, for sure.
It's because I'm so famous on TikTok. You've all seen me. I mean, obviously. God, guys, come on.
I get Chris Farley all the time, so
Well, actually, so like I said before, Mike, you look like Sunny Side from the show Best Food Review Show Ever.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Have you seen the show though?
Not yet. No.
So he's a little bit like he used to be a little bit overweight, but he got into shape. No. He was more than you. He was way more weight than you.
Wow.
But he got into shape. He lost all of his weight. Anyways.
Get the tiny hands to dig.
Sorry. No, I'm really digging myself in the hole. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm not saying anything bad about you.
I know.
He's a very handsome guy. And he lost his weight. He moved to Korea, or he was living in Korea, and he was... Anyways, it's not important. Best Food Review Show ever is one of my favorite TV shows on YouTube, and definitely you should check it out. I definitely make my videos not inspired by him, but I definitely like his channel a lot. And so
I remember I screenshot it and everything. I totally forgot to look it up.
You'll totally, I'll send you a link later. You'll die. You'll be like, this is like, you actually have got a great personality, Mike, and you are going to go really far in this, I think, in TikTok. Yeah, like your personality is very outgoing. The commercial you made in probably just about 45 minutes to 30 minutes, I don't know how long you spent on it, but it was gold. It was amazing. Both commercials you made for this on the TikTok. So great job on that. But anyways, let me. Oh wait, you need to do your outro, Mike.
I think Jahko wanted to say something.
Oh, Jahko. Yeah, Jahko.
I just noticed something in the comments. This comment, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I just wanted to address this right now. Whatever party that's on the ballot, some people are saying that they're voting, independent. They're voting all these other parties. If you vote for anyone else other than a Democrat or Joe Biden, you're voting for Trump, and you're putting people in there that are under Trump's administration, and they're going to be preventing Biden and his group of people from making change happen. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yep, I agree.
That is a great point, Jahko. Like Kanye West actually did steal some votes, but I think the votes that he did steal were some of the Trump voters that were going to vote for Trump because they're already on that level. I'm not sure, but they're already on, like, so far gone. They wanted to vote for Kanye West because they thought it was a funny joke.
Yeah,
they care that little about this country and how bad our country has gotten that we are really in a new era of the United States. It's not the United States. We are the divided states, honestly.
Yes,
we are extremely divided right now. And it's going to take a lot for us to get back to where we were. And we definitely need a president like Biden. Of course, there's better presidents than Biden, but we don't have a choice, you guys. And yeah, of course, I would love to vote for some independent guy that really has got some great ideas. I would love to vote for Bernie Sanders especially, but we're not there.
Yeah, on my page all the time, I always tell people, like, any other election, voting independent, you got to vote your heart, vote who the person is you think represents you. But, like, this is just not the time for it, unfortunately. I wish independent people could be a part of the debates. I wish they had their own conventions. Like, I wish they were an actual entity in all of this. But if you vote independent in this election, you're just saying, hello, Trump, another 4 years of him. Basically.
Exactly.
The independent vote in 2016 was 7%.
Yep.
7% is too high a percentage this time around to play around with.
Yep.
Okay, just so you know. Okay.
There's really people out there that say they're voting for Jesus. They're saying they're voting for their friends. They're voting for their parents. They're voting for your family. Like, those are not going to be. They're not actually running. They're not actually in the race. So you're actually wasting your vote by doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys, we just got a Canadian in the house. Oh, wait. He's coming in a second. Mike, talk about your channel really fast on YouTube and on TikTok.
Yeah, my YouTube channel I haven't used in the past couple months, but I just got my 300th subscribers, so that's pretty neat. I never did anything political on there. It's always just been random comedy stuff. But I found through TikTok that I'm just so much better in short form than I am in, like, 7 or 8 or 10 minute long videos. So, but anyway, over on TikTok, I do political stuff, obviously. And just like Mermaid over there, I like to take comedy and make this nonsense somewhat entertaining, so that we can get through it together, but also while providing you actual information.
Oh, yeah,
Mermaid. Still waiting on that comedy, Mike. Still waiting on that comedy part, Mike.
Huh?
I said we're still waiting on the comedy part, Mike. You'll get there. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, good man.
Oh,
thanks
look at the Irish.
I think the ID die.
Okay,
so you guys, Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
We got Anthony who popped in for this ending just to say hello to everybody because, like Anthony, of course, he's been on the show like multiple times now. It's just been a week of him having on the show, but we love Anthony so much. Bulletproofmedic has won our hearts over here. He comes from Canada, but he makes the best parody videos. I think, Paddy, have you heard of Anthony before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's big big name over here in Ireland.
Yeah, I told.
Anyways, you guys.
Mike, that's comedy. That's comedy, Mike.
Listen,
just kidding, man. I'm sorry.
A lot of extra weight makes you funny automatically. All right, so.
Oh, we're going to fat jokes already.
Hey, I'm fat too.
This is called a full head of hair, Mike. Thanks for that.
Oh, sure.
Oh, and
Anyway,
also, Paddy, are you in northern? You're in normal, proper Ireland, not Northern Ireland, right? You're in like.
Wow. Oh, be careful.
What the hell
So
is
I'm in the
proper
Republic of Ireland, which is an independent country from
Use
Great
the
Britain
euro.
and the United Kingdom. And it is currently 2 a.m. in the morning here. Thanks for having me.
I'm just double
Holy
checking. I mean,
smokes.
No,
So,
but
like-
Bulletproof and Paddy need to talk because you're going to Ireland.
Yes.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
I'm leading the intro to it. And go.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
told you,
No,
I told
let's
you
go.
about it.
Bulletproof is going to Northern Ireland, though. Bulletproof is going to Northern.
Oh.
See, there's no border. There's no border, so we can come and go as we please. So it's fine. It's grand. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
Plus, I know certain people up there, so you're grand. It's okay. I got your back. And Northern Ireland, the border is only an hour from me, so.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah,
that works
nice.
out perfect. So the reason that I'm headed to Ireland is because my comedy, I got a message a few weeks back from a gentleman whose daughter has been bullied a lot in school. And she'd been having a really rough time for quite a while because of her looks. She has amazing blue hair. I just had a video chat with her recently. But he had heard her laughing for the first time in months, which was very unusual. So we went to check it out, and she was watching my comedy, which was just amazing. So obviously you don't, I'm a big name in Ireland. I don't think you know me. I do.
No, I've seen that video. I've seen that video of
You've
you talking about that story. Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
So,
then
yeah,
I
we're
guess I
aware
don't
of it.
really-
Yeah.
I guess I don't really have to explain all this. But to anyone watching that doesn't know, a girl named Eva, she lives in Ireland. She was watching my stuff. It was the first time that she was happy in months. She'd actually, one of the things she'd been made fun of at school for was that she had blue hair. And her dad had said, and like I've talked to her since, after my video to her, she had asked or had said to her dad that, I want to go get my hair dyed again blue. Like it's been fading, I guess. And she wants to make it, more blue again, which is just amazing. Because I had said to her, I'm not famous. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a random guy in Canada. So if I can make you feel good, then what can you do? Well, girl, you can do anything. You can do whatever you want. You could run. I mean, I don't know what Ireland or Northern Ireland has, but I mean, there's a girl running for vice president right now that used to be, as she said in the original debates when she was just a candidate for president or for in the primaries. She just used to be that little girl on the bus that was, segregated, and she's now looks like she's going to be the vice president of the United States. So, Eva, if you're watching this, I know you watch some of my stuff. You can truly do whatever you want, and I'm here to support you. Everyone else is here to support you. There are so many people in this world that will support you. You've seen the comments on, I know you follow me on the Twitter and watch everything there. There's so many comments on there. That should show you what you should be listening to. Don't listen to these people at school. Everyone here will basically confirm high school is just a tiny little blip. And it's really, as I said in my video, just a popularity contest. And it's, looking back on it, it's kind of pathetic. Don't listen to pretty much anyone there. I do want to add on one more thing, and that's I created, one of the things I said in my video was, sorry, I'm a little drunk right now. One of the things I said, I'm a lot drunk right now.
Paddy can relate.
One of the things I said in my video was, you do whatever makes you comfortable, and like, it doesn't really matter what other people think, especially in high school, because you're basically never going to see them again. So I've created a line of merch, a you do you line, Jesus, line of merch. And all the proceeds of that are going to buy her Christmas presents, whatever she wants. And I'm working on a plan to get over there to Northern Ireland to take her up flying. I have a friend in the Air Force, Canadian Air Force, that we're going to borrow a plane from Britain, or a few planes, rather, from Britain to take her up flying. We're just going to give her and her family the best time of their lives. Obviously, as you know, Paddy, the COVID situation there isn't really that great right now, and it's getting a lot worse. So I'd originally planned to go there in early December, but that might be pushed off for a little bit just because of that. But anyways, please look up my merch store. I'm going to put it in the chat here. And if you see anything in there that you like on Teespring for the You Do You line, all the proceeds there are going to buy her Christmas presents, whatever she wants.
Also, Anthony's Twitter and YouTube and everything is down below. Not in the main part, in the bottom part with the people that have joined us in the past. So go look at Bulletproofmedic and you can find it there in the description, just down below, because I add everybody that's joined us in the past in that description. So anytime you join us, you're pretty much forever in that in that description area down below. So yeah, you can look him up on the description also. And
I just want to add there, anything that you need, anything I can help out with, no problem. And a little known fact, in Ireland since 1990, for 21 straight years, we had a female president. 2 separate women for 21 straight years, and one of those was from Northern Ireland. So absolutely anyone can be president of Ireland when they put their mind to it. Absolutely. Fair play.
That's great.
That's awesome.
The North remembers.
Yeah, so anyways, you guys, I'm going to do my outro, and then we're going to play a video from Mermaidmama Maggie, I mean. So anyways, my name is Bert. I run the channel Food Expert on YouTube, and I travel around the world showing you guys different foods that are unique to that area of the world. And it would be great if you go subscribe to my channel right now, Food Expert, and I would just be super happy. And it's just great to have new subscribers and add to my community. But we are going to be keeping this community here going for a very long time. And my current channel name right now is called Stream with Bert. That's what I stream this on. But I will be, my channel for food is called Food Expert. And yeah, so it was really great to have you guys here. We're going to keep this community going for a very long time after this, I think. Our community is very strong with like 30 TikTokers on here. So I'm really happy to be a part of this and kind of start this. I guess I started the whole thing, but I'm really happy that you guys joined so fast. So many people just joined this community.
Thank you,
like you, BrainDaddy and Mermaidmama Maggie, and I mean, everybody. Jahko is super friendly. He joined just last week. And then we got Paddy the Panda, who just joined today. So, I mean, we have got this community. That's why I put the comment section down below with everybody listed who's joined this community, because I want everybody to kind of be able to always be a part of this live stream. Even if they're not here today, they can be found in that live stream. We're all like one, almost like a union, I would say. But like, because I mean, BrainDaddy got kicked off of his TikTok, and then we not my union, but the TikTok community got him back to full swing almost with 10,000 subscribers in just a couple days. And that's not me doing that, okay? That's the TikTok community doing that. But I'm just bringing together the TikTok community, and that's what I'm doing. I don't take credit for that 10,000 subscribers at all, by the way. No.
No, that's just my followers.
Yeah, that's just your cool followers.
They're
so, I mean,
people.
All we are is a union of people that podcast or broadcast to YouTube. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys. All 48 of you guys watching right now, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to all of our YouTube channels. Most of us are just starting on YouTube, and some of us have been on YouTube for 2 years. But yeah, Mr. Jahko, he would love your support on YouTube. And Paddy just started YouTube today, so definitely go subscribe to all of our YouTube channels and watch our first videos ever, and it will help us out a lot. And especially go follow Mermaidmama Maggie and Bulletproofmedic. I mean, they're both awesome. You know, definitely go, and you can find Bulletproofmedic down below in the far down below the section down below. Anyways, you guys, enough rambling. Any last words of you guys, and then we're going to call it and play one of Maggie's amazing videos that I just can't get enough of.
Top of the morning for ya.
Okay, so anything else?
They're after me, Lucky Charms.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Okay, all right, keep it going. Yeah, no problem.
Show your clip.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna show the clip right now. Here we go. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's the clip right now.
Do you have a president that lies constantly, who's told over 20,000 lies or misleading claims in the past 4 years? Well, why not make a game out of it? From the company that brought you Jumanji and 2020, we bring you Liar Liar Pants on Fire. In this board game, you'll need to bring your player through a minefield of lies until they end up in jail. I'll be Donald Trump and you be Mitch McConnell. Ooh, a mystery lie. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein.
You are fake news.
Time to go back a square. Hey, Donald's in jail. I won. Aww. Featuring some of your favorite lies like Mexico will pay for the wall and my tan's not fake. Also, it's a Democratic hoax. I'm a stable genius. I don't know the guy. And the virus will just disappear like a miracle. Replacement packs come every 2 days. Thanks, Liar Liar Pants on Fire.